I do believe that most people want to do a good job. And there's obstacles that are put in their way, and more often than not it's either lack of training, lack of resources, poor communication, or misunderstanding. That said, there are some employees that it's just not a good fit. They want to be doing something else. And at that point you either manage them up or you manage them out of the organization. And my experience has been over time that managers, by the time they want to get rid of an employee, they are so frustrated they want them gone yesterday. And you know, by that time there's a lot of damage that's done, and particularly if they're touching your outside customers, you don't know what's going on. You know, or the quality of work is deteriorated. So it's much better to take action sooner than later. I've never had a manager say to me, I should have waited longer before letting that person go. And you know, and for employees that are really unhappy in their jobs, of which right now there was just a survey that came out recently with the conference board that over 55% of employees are unhappy in their jobs. And unhappy employees are not highly productive. And so therefore, if you're not happy, look to make a change if you can. And I know these are tough economic times, but in the long run it'll serve you better, and there are still good companies out there hiring.
Now, what traits does a company look for in a prospective employee which are important to customer service? What kind of traits do you look for?
Well, you know, when I do interviewing or I coach managers to interview, I really strongly recommend an outgoing willingness to help, willingness to ask questions. And in the interview you find that out. You know, if you're interviewing for a job where you're dealing with customers, is ask a lot of questions of the company, and people that are genuinely interested in others. And they care about doing a good job. They have a friendly demeanor, they smile, they have a sense of humor. You know, rarely do people, and they have a high level of flexibility. You've got to be very flexible in, you know, when you're dealing with customers, because not everybody is the exact perfect customer, as we all know. And so I think being flexible and being, you know, and having a sense of humor, and be willing to find the best solution.
You know, it's interesting because Cherryll and I were talking earlier about the perspective of we've all been customers, and I think that when you're interviewing people for customer service jobs or any customer facing job, you have an instinct. Who would I want to work with if I was doing business with me? You know, it's interesting. I managed a customer service group, and there was this one gal I interviewed, and boy, I wanted her, and somebody else snapped her away. I think it might have been Apple. They snapped her away, and 4 years later, I finally got her. But she stood out as one of those people that was reasonable, helpful, interested, and I was right. I mean, she definitely played out as one of the best customer service people I've ever worked with. You get a sense, who would I want to be working with if I was my customer?
Yes.
It just feels right. I love what you're saying, and it's funny that you mentioned the web, because the web can be a blessing and a curse, right? But I've been doing something recently with my clients to help them realize I'm the one to do business with, because I'm looking out for them. I use Google Alerts right now, and so I'll put my clients in there, I'll put topics that they're interested in there, I'll put their competitors in there. And so you know, when I have time to check these things out, I've got information that I share with them off the cuff. It can be really quickly, it can be a quick call or an email saying, hey, did you know, blah. And you've done that with me, you know, educating me about the whole use of YouTube for businesses. I didn't know. So I think whenever we can know what's important to our customers and be out there kind of looking at the information that's on the bleeding edge and figuring out how to translate it into our customers' vocabulary so they can see the translation to them, that's the kind of thing you do to stay relevant. It's first listening to hear what's important to them, and then finding it and being willing to share.
And I think it's asking good questions. Really, you know, understanding, like you said, what the customer needs, and it's asking good questions, being aware of what's going on, where their pain points are, and always over deliver, provide something, you know, above and beyond. You know, I think that really serves the, you know, whether you're an employee serving your employer, or whether it's serving your customer. It's just providing that little bit of extra. It doesn't, I mean, customer service is so poor in general for so many companies that to provide a good solid level of customer service, you just stand way ahead.
So
We do
you go
for-profit, non-profit,
Yeah.
wishing they were profitable.
Yeah,
I've done HR work, human resource work for over 20 years, and I am just so committed to making the workplace someplace people want to go and thrive. And I have coached supervisors, managers, employees. If people call me, I talk with them. I help them out. I've been very blessed and in the type of clients that I've had, and I do speaking engagements. I do a fair amount of nonprofit work and, of course, for-profit companies to help them become more profitable and to create great places to work. And doing coaching and training of managers to ensure that they are the best managers they can be to create an environment where their employees do succeed.
Excellent. So you have a website?
Oh, my website is, thank you very much. My website is Cypress Ridge Solutions. And we're located in downtown San Jose. We've worked with companies all over the Bay Area, and really am committed to certainly good customer service and really creating employment environments where people do well.
Excellent.
Yeah, similar. I speak to anybody that's interested in customer loyalty. I try not to convince people to do it. I like to work with people who are already there, but I love to speak to groups that have people who are interested in knowing more about how to reach out to their customers, tools to do it, ways to do it. And as Cherryll said, pick up the phone also. It doesn't have to be a formal speaking situation to access us.
Yeah.
I love to talk to people who are thinking about doing their own surveys. Sometimes it evolves into something I can help with, sometimes it doesn't, and they're off on their own, but there's another person talking to a customer. So that's great.
Yeah.
My website is www.theinsightadvantage.com. I know it's showing up on the screen right now also.
Yes.
And that's the best way to find me.
Excellent, excellent. So what would you all like to tell us in closing? I know that I felt it was very important to do this show because everyone is looking for new ways. It's almost like there's a movement, or you could feel it in the air. Everyone's looking for new and innovative ways to go forward now in 2010. And I just hope that and pray that the information given here, that there's some kind of seed that's been planted here that can help you to go forward in whatever aspect of life you're dealing with. I want you all to, what is your closing? What would you say to our friends out there?
Well, I would say if you're an employee, if you're looking for work at the present time, don't give up. There are still a lot of opportunities out there, and believe in yourself and know that you can create and provide great quality work to other people. If you're a supervisor, a manager, a business owner, it's really important to understand that employees do represent the company, and to create a great customer experience, you really do need to have the loyalty and the commitment of your employees and create a great culture within the organization of communication, kindness, and integrity. And I think that will serve you well, it will serve your whole organization, and it helps serve the world.
And just in general for businesses to do the same, to be aware of ways to differentiate yourself, because there are a lot of people competing for the consumer's dollar out there right now. And the person who shows the interest and follows up on the interest in really what the customer is looking for is the guy that's going to survive.
You guys so
Great.
very
Thank
you.
much
This is
for
fun.
coming out and hanging out with Woodstock Granny today. Again, random acts of kindness, integrity, and grooviness is what we do. Peace. We out.
Peace.